Welcome to Andy's Rec Room. For those returning, thank you so much. For new viewers, welcome. If you enjoy what you'll see here, please subscribe and like. It helps new channels like my own to develop and to go further and produce new videos. Today is the day, folks. The review of the Fosi amps. We're going to be doing total harmonic distortion, separation, damping factor, slew rate, anything you can imagine. No, actually, none of that. That's already been covered by some great reviewers like Audio Science Review. Amir is a genius. He's got all the gear. He knows what he's doing. I'm an end user. I've been working in professional audio for the last 4 decades. I've done live sound. I've done sound design for theater. I've done project design. I have a lot of experience. But it's different. It's not like someone who's a bench tech. They are different people. They have different purposes in the audio industry. I don't want to confuse myself with somebody of that level of technical expertise. My expertise is actually putting this gear into use. What I'm going to do today is just talk about why, if I've worked on all these huge projects, why would I want this diminutive little amplifier? Well, I'll tell you, the last project I worked on, which was the refit of the whole sound system at the Excel Arena in St. Paul, Minnesota, my very dear friend Jim Fitzinger invited me down to project manage with him and get his dream system set up. And believe me, it is an amazing setup. What we put in there was a huge Meyer sound system, including the brand new Panther speakers. And guess what? They're Class D. Not only are they Class D, they're absolutely state-of-the-art with full telemetry, absolutely brilliant boxes that can blow your back wall off while sounding fantastic. So the technology is being used in that scale of production is also being used in these very small and absolutely wonderfully built amplifiers. The project I was working on was an open baffle system that is fully active. It started just by using stuff I had lying around, like a 12-inch Celestion guitar speaker, a couple of 1990s car speakers from Radio Shack. And I wanted to see if I could put this together and actually get the open baffle thing going in a way that would be kind of pleasing to listen to. Primarily for vinyl. I have an awesome system in my studio. I have Paradigm Active 40s for my reference, like an Apogee interface. That side of it's set. I'm not looking for a mixing situation or super accurate. I'm looking for something that's really pleasurable. The whole shtick with open baffle is basically psychoacoustic sound effects. If any of you are into like miking techniques, or if you want to check it out, the Bloomline array is very, very similar in what it does. It messes with our hearing. Basically, humans love distortion. We love small changes in phase, things that kind of tickle our ears. When you're working with something like a Bloomline or an open baffle, what happens is instead of the signal being absolutely direct like you'd want from a set of Genel X or like my Paradigm speakers here, very pure, very reference, this starts actually making an ambience in the room. It makes it very, very pleasurable to listen to. So that type of application of technology really, really fascinates me because when I want to relax and listen to some music, I don't necessarily want it to be perfectly accurate. I want it to sound nice. So that's where Fosi comes in. I was working with a Denon AV amplifier for the 4 channels I need for my system. And don't get me wrong, Denon is a brilliant company. Their products are fantastic. But the high end was a little brittle. It didn't actually sound how I wanted to. And fair, the speakers I was using at the time weren't tip-top either. So the combination of a somewhat crisp amplifier and crisp speakers was a little bit fatiguing. Still sounded good, but it was definitely fatiguing. So I reached out to Fosi and I said, hey guys, can you want to send me down a V3 for review? They very kindly did. Man, that thing just opened up the soundstage and the whole depth perception, and it was just really, really, really lovely. So I worked with that system. I tuned it for a few months, and I realized, well, the top sounding is just fantastic. So I upgraded the high speakers as well, and I said, well, I want to work on the low end a little bit. So I said, hey guys, can you send me over a couple of Monoblocks? So that's what these babies are right here. I got 2 of these guys. They are absolutely fantastic. When you use the 48 volt 10 amp power supply, it's mind blowing. I mean, these things are punchy, round. The combination with the speakers I'm using is exactly what I was looking for. It's totally controllable, totally warm, totally inviting, and just absolutely immersive. So very, very, very happy with the results of the Fosi amps in this context. So again, the whole idea here is integration. It wasn't just to get the amps to review them, which God bless the people that are doing it. I super appreciate it. And that's one of the reasons why I requested this app, because of really good reviews I've seen that are in-depth and break down not only like the sound quality of these little guys, but the quality of components are in here is really, really, really good. So if you ever see somebody on their iPhone criticizing this being made in China, please just don't listen to it. It's absolute nonsense. They're absolutely phenomenally well built, good components, and they sound great. And also the other thing I just noticed recently, a sort of a disturbing trend that I'm not too pleased of. A couple of YouTubers, which I actually admire and I think they're doing great work, posted, the thing, they had one of the units fail. First thing they do is they run out and go, I have to be a master clickbaiter. It's like, guys, you don't need to do that. Everything fails. I've seen $600,000 mixing systems fail. I've seen $20,000 speaker systems fail. I mean, per unit, not for a whole system. I've seen pretty much everything in my 4 decades of professional audio go. Anything can fail. What separates the good companies from the poor companies is how they react. If you have a failure, contact the company. Fosi is awesome. They're super easy to contact, super receptive. They'll take care of you. But anyways, that's just a bit of a digression there. But I just like to keep things fair and equitable in terms of how we look at these products. The Chinese-made products today are some of the best in the world. It doesn't mean you have to go buy Chinese or local. I like to basically give credit where credit is due. And Fosi is producing an absolutely world-class product right now. So where does this kind of go from here? Well, so far, the results, like I mentioned, have been absolutely fantastic. Super happy with it. And I am posting videos of the system playing back music through my speakers. So it's as real as I can get it. I know a lot of people will say, well, yeah, you'll never get, the proper sound with microphones or the YouTube compression. What I'm also doing from now on is I'm also uploading high-res files that you can get the actual 24192 WAV files if you want to listen to that. So we can get around that part of it a bit. As far as the room sound goes, I've used a couple different setups. I'm going to continue experimenting a little bit, but I have found something that actually really resembles the experience of listening in my room. So that's going to continue. And something very, very exciting, I contacted Andrew Sparks from Sparkos, and he's sending over some op amps for me to pop into these little guys. They already sound really, 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 really good. What I'm hoping for is to just give it a tad more warmth, and with his discrete constructed op amps, I think I'm going to get there. Some other reviewers have mentioned them recently, and I don't think it's overblown from what I've heard in their demos either. So that video will be coming up hopefully in about a week or so. Please check back in. I will be putting it up as soon as I get the op amps installed and the demos recorded. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the difference. Although it probably will be fairly, small in terms of you already have a great product. You're just trying to round off those corners just a smidge to get that warmth kicking in, and I think it's going to give it to us. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys watching. And if you watched till the end, double thanks. And hopefully you guys will be back for another episode in about a week or so. Take care, guys.